And here he is. Hello, Damon. Welcome to Damon Albarn.
Hello.
You've got a real affinity for Manchester, haven't you? I think it's fair to say.
I love Manchester. In a way, it's sort of it's like a second town for me.
Yeah.
I've spent more time in Manchester than any other town other than London.
Yeah.
I've lived here a bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love the air.
The air.
I love the air.
Nice.
The air reminds me of my childhood, all my childhood holidays on my granddad's farm.
Really? Excellent. You were saying that it was a conversation we were having a couple of years ago in this very city. Well, what, a couple of years ago? A year ago, maybe?
No, a bit longer than that.
Was it a bit longer than that?
Yeah.
Yeah. When,
it's your fault, basically.
well, tell us what you mean that it's my fault. Go on.
Well, I was here at, not the last, but the one, so it's like 3 years ago then.
Wow.
Yeah. At the Manchester International Festival, and we were sitting in the bar at
a leading Manchester hotel.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we were just talking about, I think I talked about Glastonbury and getting back together, and you were encouraging me to do more of that.
Yeah.
And play some gigs, and I think it was a result of that conversation that we ended up spending last year pretty much travelling around the whole world playing.
But come on, it was fun, wasn't it?
That was great, yeah. I mean, I was ready to stop by the last gig in South America in December.
Yeah,
you know.
I bet, yeah.
It really was. And I had a great time. I loved it, but I mean, it was time to move on, really.
Well, let's talk about the first record under your own name, really, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Was there any particular reason for that, to step out and say?
Well, I'd never been asked beforehand.
Really?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, and
well, Richard Russell, who had previously been working with Bobby Womack, as a co-producer, we kind of had we had the idea that it would be nice to work together again, and what should we do? You know, we spent about a month imagining that we could, you know, reinvent ourselves as a sort of new pop band.
Did you?
But you know, we looked at our age and we realised that was probably a stupid idea. And then he came in, sort of once there was that realisation, he turned around and said, "Look, I'd really like to produce you."
Yeah.
And honestly, it hadn't really occurred to me to even see myself in that context. I really generally have just collaborated all my life. I enjoy being in a band.
Yeah.
Was that quite liberating for you, Damon?
What?
The idea of just working completely independently?
Well, you're not really working like that. I mean, I still made the record with him, you know. In a way, it's as much his record as it is mine. The only thing that I suppose that really, really changed with this record was the narrative of it is completely personal. It's a very, you know, everything happened to me that I sing about on the record.
That's
some of it quite dark, and some of it quite joyous.
Well, that's striking me listening to. I listened to the record a couple of times last night. It's a great album, I think. And what struck me is the lyrics. You know, at one stage in your Blur songwriting phases, you were writing observational sketches about things and people. This struck me as very, very much a personal record and quite impressionistic and enigmatic and elusive at times. Yeah.
Oh, that's me.
That's you, right? Yeah. So you've moved. Is that a general change? Have your lyrics evolved?
No, I think I've been writing very personal songs from day one, really. And not all of them. I mean, sometimes I do sort of kind of project myself into other people, but I've kind of sung, even when I'm like in the third person, I'm sort of singing about myself.
Yeah. And is it fair to say that
you know, sometimes it does come back to haunt you. I mean, only a couple of months ago I was running, which I obviously do obsessively now, being middle-aged and vain. And this guy caught me running and said, and started going, it's not about those joggers that go round and round and round and round. You know,
and it feels like, because of your travels and that kind of thing, because of your interests, it feels like all the music of the world is kind of filtering into your music now. Would that be fair to say? Or a lot of it, anyway.
Well, I mean, I've travelled a lot. I still go back to places I've visited over the years regularly. I was in Mali making a record a few months ago. I mean, I had a mad month and a half at the end of last year. First I went to North Korea, where I'm sort of researching something. Yeah, I went to North Korea.
Now, you can't just... That sounds mysterious. What, you're going to overthrow the government?
No. I can't talk about it. I had a brilliant time
What's it
there.
like?
Well, I mean, everyone asks you what's it like, and I do have a stock answer, and mine is that, well, it's like a magical kingdom in the sense that everyone's under a spell there.
Yeah.
You know, and you can interpret that how you like, really. Because I do intend to go back, so I'm not going to illuminate on that.
I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying.
But I went straight from there to West Africa to make a record with lots of fantastic young producers and some older producers like Brian Eno, which we put out, called Maison des Jeunes. And then I went straight from there to Peru and started the Blur tour. And then I came home for about 3 days, and I had to go to Hollywood to do a Damon Albarn and Strings at the Warner Brothers sound studio in Burbank or wherever it is, which was a really interesting place because it's like an old 1920s soundstage where they did like Charlie Chaplin films and stuff. So that was a pretty mad 6 weeks, really.
And do you think when I first met you, you didn't get any further than that? What was that little underground club called at the end of Tottenham Court Road?
Well, the first time I ever left London in a gig, I played in Leeds, and I introduced said we're Blur and we're from London. And there was silence, and then someone said, "Well, bleep bleep, back down the M1 then."
But so tell us about tonight. What can we expect?
Well, I mean, we're going to play. Well, firstly, I'd like to introduce the new band, and they're called the Heavy Seas. Okay. So it's Damon Albarn and the Heavy Seas.
Can you tell us who's playing with you, Damon?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it won't mean anything really to you, will it, if I say?
Oh, it might.
All right, Cher, Paulie, Jeff, and Mike.
Nice one. Paulie being the drummer, right?
Paulie being the drummer, you know.
Yeah, we did some fantastic stuff with Paulie. Yeah.
They're all ridiculous.
He's a wild man.
They're ridiculously good musicians. They're got great haircuts.
That's important.
Yeah,
it is.
they're fantastic.
Paulie's got one of the best afros I've ever seen, actually.
He has got a very good afro. It was quite funny because we were sound checking and they hadn't quite got the bass bins worked out. So when he was pressing his bass drum pedal, the air from the bass was lifting his afro. So it's quite fun. But the thing that I'm most excited about this band is that we can do 5-part harmony. So that's something I've never really been able to explore in the way I'd like to. Yeah. So there's some fantastic harmony in this band.
We're going to play the.
I'm going to play some Gorillaz tunes as well.
Okay.
Maybe one very unheard Blur tune, and maybe a bit of good Bad and Queen as well.
Brilliant. Well, we'll look forward to that. We're going to play Everyday Robots now. Damon, thanks very much.
Thank you.